size though it might be, Kawasaki says the seat height is 33.9 inches. That makes it easy for normal-sized people to swing a leg over without dislocating a hip, and once my 160 pounds were on board I could almost flat-foot the thing on both sides at once. That low seat and low CG is a big part of what makes bikes like the KLX a blast to ride. Everything about it is non-threatening, and so the abuse begins. Slide it into corners with the gas on, attempt to roost turns like the kids in the dirt magazines, etc. The KLX makes you think you can do it because the repercussions of getting it wrong seem much less severe than on a serious dirt bike. The ground is way closer, and not coming at you nearly so fast. I fell off on about the third turn that morning trying to keep up with a cute woman journalist in pink shift gear, but it was no harm no foul, soft dirt thank God, and easy to pick a little KLX back up, get right back on and continue my futile pursuit of the fairer sex. Kawasaki says curb weight is 218 pounds, and the electric starter fired the little single right back up. You probably can't win the Erzberg rodeo on this bike, but 7.5 inches of front wheel travel via the old-fashioned 33mm fork, and 7.9 inches of back, via fully adjustable remote rest shock, is plenty for plain riding. Your 144cc air-cooled single remains intact, complete with electric starter. Your basic valve thumper isn't going to launch you over any triples, and that's its appeal. It does begin churning out usable torque right off idle once past one slight, occasional hiccup you probably could easily tune out in the 20mm key-in carburetor that lets you clamber up steeper grades than you might imagine. The 5-speed gearbox works fine, and the bike's light progressive clutch makes it easy to keep on the boil with one finger. All I can tell you is that when my child graduated onto his KTM 50SX, then KX65, and later the YZ and then an RM85, I had the most fun of my motorcycling life on the hem blue version of this bike, a Yamaha TDR 125L. At first, I shepherded child around the vat tracks at various local MX parks. Later, I struggled to keep up. Finally I tired of eating RM85 roost, retired and became the tuner, but it was the most fun racing I ever did for sure and the cheapest. And I hate to bring it up and put the mouth on myself, but I seem to not fall off of all motorcycles as much as I did before that experience. All that sliding and skidding around on the verge of disaster without quite falling off most of the time just is something to recalibrate your internal 6-axis IMU. This KLX is a more sophisticated, more powerful version of my old TDR in every way, and no doubt just as robust. Change the oil now and then, add gas and go. Not that the KLX probably needs it, but the steel handlebar is rubber mounted in case you wind up riding it across the Gobi Desert, and a spark arrestor is standard so you don't burn down the state. Speaking of which, Kawasaki encourages everyone to support the people who keep our OHV areas open. Frankly, I'd forgotten about our own little local Wildemar area, which is in fact 360 acres, with 8 miles of great up and down trails and only a short drive from the Orange County megalopolis, an ideal place to ride trail bikes like the KLX.